Hello, it's the May 3rd, 2025. It's me again, and this story, is about people you need that are not such good people to help other people. So does a wrong make a right? Um, I'm going to try to explain it to you to the best of my ability. So the first person I talked to was my mother. The year's 2012. And there's bad and good, and there's a whole bunch in between, in people and in things. And then the idea of this is to find the good and make it better if you can. There's a lot of variance in between, like from good to bad. There's so much. There's even people right in the middle and things in the middle. But anyway, I go to my mom. I go, Mom, well, Dad's been passed away since 2004, the year's 2012. Do you want me to continue doing what I'm doing? I love my mother and I really care what she thinks. Dad wanted me to do it constantly because of the wealth and it's good for me and perhaps I'll find a wife or something like that, he thought. But my mom had a different perspective on this. She thought that I would help one person at a time or one girl at a time, help them get out of this business that they're in. Or even if they're in this business, help them to succeed in their life if this is what they choose. Because you can't change freedom of will. That's only God doesn't even want you to change freedom of will. So in this story, this young lady I meet in 2008, and I'm going to need her assistance in 2012. She's not such a good person, but she is trying her best that she can. But sometimes when you're brought up in a family where they're separated and she blames the mother, goes live with the father, and divorce with children, they blame themselves. Anyway, that's what leads to this situation. She lives with her father. She changes her situation in life. Instead of education, she prefers a life of the adult entertainment, which is maybe not the greatest thing for everybody. So anyway, I know that she has her bad side, but I'm going to need that bad side to convince this one person that is already, I took her to, she was going to have a baby and she decided that she didn't want the baby, and we're not going to talk about how that happened. But the second time I said, you're going to have this baby, she went totally against me on having this second one. She already had a child. So she's a blonde that's having the child, but she doesn't want to have it. And she's not, I can't convince her. I tried to make her believe in God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, but she's one of those people that don't believe in that kind of thing. So, but her best friend is the brunette that I told you about, that they had the divorce and everything. And she's a little bit of a naughty person, really. And she's her best friend. But this one doesn't believe in God either, and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, which I'm trying both of them to convince. And I have to use or get her to help me in order for the other one to have the kid, because they're best friends. Now, what I got with the brunette, that is 2008, and the other one I met around 2010, it's 2012, and she's supposed to have this baby. It's going to be a boy. So I got to convince her. And I don't know how I'm doing it. I'm trying all these magical things that I can do, and it's not working. But the brunette really steps in, and she really goes at it. And she helps me help her have the baby. And through the whole course of the situation, I thought it was a miracle in the making because of how it happened. The brunette, even when she was going to the hospital to go have the baby, went with her to make sure that everything went well. And it happened. And it took a lot because, I was very busy and I have to make time for everybody else as well. And my mother said, stay in it, save them one at a time, And this time I had to have another person help me save that other person. But by doing that, the brunette is going to have a child. But again, she did the same thing as the blonde, which I don't want to talk about, as not having the baby. But the second time around, I started growing feelings for the brunette. And she was born on August 5th of 1987. So she's still younger than me. And I even thought perhaps there was, a chance of maybe being together forever. But once I touched her, like romantically, I saw everything. And it wasn't a good picture. But it said I was going to have a little bit of fun with her. And I have to do it no matter what. Because she will have the second child. She's supposed to actually have 3. But she only ended up with 1. But at the situation, and this is another thing, I never leave a person. They always leave me. Even in friends with benefits, they leave me. So in this one, I was a little bit more romantically involved. And I knew she was going to leave me. And she sort of left me for other people at the same time, but always got me back. But the last one, I knew that I couldn't come back because I knew she would have a child a year later after that. So around the COVID time again, she left me, and I knew that she would have a child, and the child's going to be approximately 5 years old this year. So that's the sacrifices sometimes you have to make in order for their miracles to happen. Like, I think a child being born is a miracle. Regardless of the pain and suffering that anybody has to go through, it is worth it. Just child labor is ridiculous. Forget about breaking hearts and all the things that happen. But I knew that the situation had to take its course, and I would get really hurt. But it does, I'm used to that. But anyway, that's my story. And she's really not a good person anyway. I'm sorry to say. She is a good person in her heart and in her soul, but she always does bad decisions, let's say. Yeah. And not really a bad person, just bad decisions. And those bad decisions cause bad things to happen. And that's where you get perhaps bad person. But that's it for today, and I'll talk to you later. This is Birdy.